Good evening. Somebody say good evening back to me. I want to make sure you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Good evening. Yes.
All right,
Good
very good.
evening,
Thank
Bill.
you.
Good evening.
My name is Mike Barley. I am going to be your instructor for the year, and welcome to the 25-26 school year for the ABC e-learning electrical apprenticeship. I'm sure we have kind of a variety of people that are probably in the meeting, and I'm sure some more will be coming in as we get started here, hopefully. There's a lot more people in this than are actually in the meeting at this time. However, if you talk to anybody that for some reason was not able to make it to the meeting tonight, this will be recorded and we will post it on my YouTube channel, and you'll be able to access that. You can email me and get a link for it. So welcome. I'm assuming we probably have several of you that are returning students from last year's program. We usually have some that might drop in from maybe another program or just another training area. So I'm sure it's kind of a mixed bag is what we typically have with this. But if you are returning, then you may have somewhat of an idea of how the program works. And we're going to really kind of dive into that, explain some things, a couple of things that have changed, and get you started here, hopefully off on the right foot. So I'm going to go through basically how the capacitor works and some of the nuances of the site. And again, for some of you that are returning, this might be a bit redundant for you, but also might be helpful. Maybe forgot how some of it actually happens. So let the journey begin. Very quickly, as it said, my name is Mike Barley, Bauerla, and I'm a master electrician, a master trainer, and a licensed instructor for the state of Indiana. I'm also an author and a manufacturer of training equipment. Now, the learning platform that we use is Capacitor, and you are responsible for completing all the assignments. These assignments will be released per semester. See. Okay, maybe your computer, Jose, because I did have several people say they can hear me. I assume everybody can hear me and you can see the screen. I'm sharing the screen, so I would assume that you can see me and see the screen. Somebody want to confirm that?
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah, we
Okay,
can see both.
awesome. Okay. Sorry, Jose. I think it might be on your end, pal. But you're responsible for completing all the assignments. The assignments will be released per semester. And a question that we often have is, well, why can't you release all of the assignments so we can just bulldoze through all of it? And the reason we do that is, first of all, apprenticeship, this is a federally approved apprenticeship program. So apprenticeship is based on two things: on the job training, which you're getting by going to work every day, and classroom hours. And the program, when operated properly, should get you the allotted amount of classroom hours. That being said, what happens, or what would happen, I'm sure, is that if we released all of the assignments, people would burn through it in a month or 2 months or whatever, and not use the appropriate amount of time to actually do the deep dive into the material and make sure that you're getting the most out of the program. And also say that one of the things that I am going to be integrating this year, and we'll talk about this more and give you a schedule on in a bit, is there is going to be a lot more of Teams meetings. In other words, meetings like this where we'll actually have teaching time and be discussing material that is relative to the curriculum for that particular level. And I'll be doing that for all 4 years. So, and of course, it says on the slide here, don't get behind. It's not effective learning for you to just save all this to the last minute and then cram it. It is my understanding or my assumption that if you're in this program, you intend to hopefully be a licensed electrician. That being said, this is the code book we're using is a very complex. Very good, thanks, Jose. Very complex book. We have a lot to learn, so we want to make sure that we are covering all the bases. Just because this is a virtual program doesn't mean that we take shortcuts. There's a lot to actually cover here. Now, the platform that we're using, of course, is the Capacitor. Many already know that. We'll use the curriculum platform known as Capacitor from Mike Holt Enterprises. and this is going to be home base. This is what your the home page will look like. I didn't have it pulled up, but I encourage you to look at each day where it says code graphic. I'm pointing at my screen over here. That's what I'm looking at. Code graphic of the day and the code question of the day. It would be great to look at that each day. If you pull this up and just looked at it on your phone, before you start work or after work, and look at it, because each one of those code graphics each day, it changes daily and provides a great deal of, nice little code nugget to help get you more and more familiar with the code. And the code question, same thing. This is what your page should look like. And when you enter into the work, it says enter class. You should receive an email from MyCode Enterprises asking you to set up an account if you hadn't already been with us. And if you do not, for some reason, then email me at mike@abcindianakentucky.org, and we'll figure that out. Presently all students are being entered into the program and put into the online platform. And for some reason, if you did not get that, just let us know. We'll make sure that you do. And that's my email address. I'm going to give it again towards the end just to make sure everybody's got it, because that's pretty much how we will communicate. So you click on enter the class to enter the work that you'll be doing. And then it'll say enter the assignment. Each one of those is an assignment. So all of those lined up is the assignments that you'll be required to do. Now, I'll open up August 25th. I'll open up all the assignments for this semester, which will be the assignments that you have to complete by the end of this semester, which would be December 11th. And then probably New Year's Day, I'll open up all the assignments for the remaining semester. So if you open it up, this is just an example of what your assignment would look like. It'll have up here in the corner quiz. As you go through this, there's questions that's popping up. That's part of your interaction with the program. There'll also be on some of the pages another icon that says video. I encourage you to watch those videos. That's a part of the interaction and learning of the material that's being discussed, of course. When you get to this page and you see on the left-hand side where it says review material, that is where, and I'll click on to the next slide, you click onto that, that is where you're going to see all of these different icons that are all of the books. Now, the book set that you'll get this year, first of all, you'll notice from last year's book, for you guys coming back, it's the heaviest book pack that we have. It has quite a few books in it. And there's also, there's just more subject in it, I'll say that much. But all of those books, at least the Mike Holt books, are all online here. So if you go down through this section here, you'll notice at the top it has 2020 books. And then if you page down, there'll be, for example, it says at the bottom of the screen there, 2020 Understanding the NEC. Everything that we are doing will be the 2023. The 2023 is the code cycle that we are presently on. And I know many of you guys might be in other areas. I'm not sure where everybody's from. We have people in these programs that are from all around the East Coast, generally speaking, but it could be Texas, Florida, East Coast, Kentucky. I'm actually in Indiana. But the state of Kentucky is on the 2023 National Electrical Code. So what our curriculum will be based on is the 2023 National Electrical Code. So any of that, you want to use that version of it. Now, grades. How's the grade thing work? You'll notice there's a tab on there that says grade. So when you click on that, this will show you, this is all of the assignments, and then it'll say completed, if you've completed or not. Now, obviously, this guy, just being used as an example, none of his work has been completed yet. But it will have on there that you've completed it, your score, and then how much time you took to do it. So, keep that in mind, that you can kind of see what you have ahead of you. And also, I can see if you got a bogus grade in there. Well, then usually when I see that and see how much time was spent on it, that usually explains what happened. You can email me through Capacitor, the little envelope box up there at the top. You click on that, and that sends an email directly to me. Or you can use my email address. In a traditional format is fine either way. But messaging, through either item will work perfectly fine. And I encourage you to ask questions. If you have questions outside of our Teams meetings, you can certainly email me. Allow me at least 24 hours to respond. Although typically, I am working pretty much every day, and there'll be times when it might take me a little bit longer to respond, but I usually respond pretty quickly, unless if it's a code question and I need to kind of look something up and prepare to answer it. Now, like I said, a lot of you guys are returning students, so I wanted to explain this. Skills competencies proof of completion will no longer be required. So let's talk about that. I know we caused a lot of whatever regarding this book and the skills competency. So I'm going to back up for a second and just explain what that is. Obviously, we're in an e-learning format. Providing a lecture like I'm going to be doing this year on a much higher level, and having the book part of it is not a big problem. The hands-on experience in learning how to be an electrician is the problem with e-learning. If you were to come to the lab that I have here in New Albany, Indiana, I have probably $500,000 worth of training equipment in that lab, or in the labs that we have, where we can provide practical learning at a very high level. With students in a distance learning or remote type learning environment, we're not able to do that. My intent this year is to be able to provide some additional videos, also some additional live training that will be in the lab. We'll be doing some things and demonstrating some things to help maximize the opportunity to where we can bring as much hands-on into it in this environment as possible. Now, we integrated the Electrical Apprenticeship Skills Competencies book last year, and the idea was that you would take this, use it as a baseline, because if you looked at it, it has level 1, 2, 3, 4, and it lays out what you should be doing or what you should have opportunity to have experienced per level. The idea is to provide that so you know what those different things are as you're going through your apprenticeship, and do the best you can to make sure that they are in there. Now, obviously, we were trying to get everybody to get it filled out per level, send it back so we have proof of it. That turned out to be extremely difficult. We have some people that are in the program that are project managers. They may not actually be in the field working as electricians, but they're still in the program, so they're not actually doing some of the hands-on. What do we do about that? And so it really got complicated. That's not what my goal was. My goal was to give my apprentices, that's you, the opportunity to know what it is that you should be actually doing, and then perhaps go to the journeyman, the master, the project manager, whoever the case may be on your job sites, and try to get them to interact with you in a hands-on way to make sure that learning is being taught. What I don't want to do is get to the end of this program and you graduate out of it and you had a whole grocery list of things that you never actually experienced as an apprentice. So by providing this list and this document, if you will, that was the goal, to do that. How this will be handled now from this point on is lab-based learning books will still be a part of the book set, and learning will take place regarding these subjects. So we'll have interaction between us. With no access to a lab facility, you will need to request this learning through your company, supervisor, or project manager. So let's just ask the obvious question. Will this affect my grade if I do not learn how to wire a seal-in circuit in level 3? No, it's not going to affect your grade. I can't discount anyone due to the fact that they don't have opportunity to do that. That was never the goal. The goal is to make sure you know what it is that you ought to try to actually get opportunity to do, and hopefully that can be provided. As you can see in the pictures here, that's a picture of some of the equipment that we use in our labs. And we have several labs throughout Kentucky that have equipment like that where students are doing a lot of hands-on. That's really a focus of the ABC Kentucky program. With the e-learning program, it's just a big struggle for us to actually to be able to provide that for you guys. So that's how we're going to handle it. So what you're going to do is you're getting in your book set that's being mailed to you. If you haven't already received it, you'll get a new one of these. Don't send it back to me. You'll keep it, use it as a log, try to get as much of it done as possible as you can. And then when it's all over with, it is your record to keep of what those experiences were. That's as far as we're going to go with it. So I'll say this: if you don't do anything with it, then I guess that's what you got. If you take it and use it as a guide, then hopefully you can expand on your experience as an apprentice and, ask of your employer and your colleagues or your coworkers, see if we can get those experiences in front of you to help you, get the maximum out of your apprenticeship. The Skills Competencies book is provided to give a guideline of the skills experiences required to be considered a completer. It is an encouragement to pursue the opportunity to have those experiences and will need to be provided by your employer. Okay. Now, talking about final grades. Failure to complete all assignments on capacitor will result in failing the course. An apprenticeship is based on two things: on-the-job training hours and classroom. So if you do not complete all of the assignments on capacitor, that is very problematic. As I'd said, as you go through and do those assignments, let's say you get to the end of the year and you got 10 assignments that you just didn't do. So at a certain point, we're cutting off, end of the school year. So, and I want to point out that if you're looking through there going, well, I didn't do 10 assignments, but I still have a 95%. But that's because we haven't went in yet at the end of the year and said, well, he or she didn't do those last 10 assignments. We go in there and X those out. That's going to drop your grade. So when you see that 95%, that means up to this point of all these assignments I've got done, that's what my average is. So you need to do each and every one of those assignments in order to be considered a completer. All work must be done to advance and or graduate. This program depends on you putting forth the effort to ensure completion of all coursework and skills competencies. All work for the first semester must be submitted by December 11th. All second semester work must be submitted by April 16th. That's pretty much the last day of school for e-learning. So we need all of the assignments that will be released on the 25th done by December 11th, and then I will open up all the second semester assignments on January 1, and you have until April 16th to get those done. Now, the Teams meetings. We've been working on this for a couple of years. We had a few more last year, and I wanted to really integrate more teaching because I am concerned that, students go through this program and they're not having enough interaction and maybe not getting the opportunity to ask questions, and that's what I am here to provide. Teams meetings will be held per the provided schedule. Going to talk about that in a second. That was placed in your book set. In your book set that you'll be receiving, if you haven't got it yet, you'll have a letter like this that also has this schedule in it, which is the schedule for the Teams meeting. So there's no guessing what time or what day it is. That's when it's going to be. All students are expected to attend. We would like everybody to be there. There will be teaching time and some demonstrations. I intend to take this little camera and we're going to go into our lab and do some things that I think will be far more interesting than the talking head thing. So here's the schedule. You will be in the third column over, third year. Today's August 20th, so we're doing one. The next one will be September 17th. We're going to do these meetings not every week. We're going to do them every couple of weeks. And the last one will be on the 15th of April. Now, at the bottom it says the instructor reserves the right to cancel, postpone, or add additional meetings as needed. I am absolutely going to try not to do that to make sure that I'm, in on all these meetings and the date is as set. But I also have a lot of irons in the fire. Also run a school and some other things. So, I'm not crazy enough to think that something couldn't possibly get in the way. So that's why that caveat's put in there. This has been provided to give students expectations as to when the live class sessions will be held, and that all students are expected to attend these meetings. Your books are your responsibility. Your books were either sent to your contractor and your contractor is sending them out to you, or they have been mailed directly to you. If you have not received them yet, don't freak out. I would say they should be there within, we sent them all out days ago, so I would think any of them to anywhere they're going should be to you within the next several days, I would think. I would give it until the end of next week, and if you haven't seen them for some reason, again, send me an email, let me know, and we'll, I have tracking information from UPS on them. All of the ones that were sent out in the mail were sent via UPS, not the United States Postal Service. We sent them through the UPS. Go Brown. So your books are your responsibility. Once you get them, they are all yours to keep. Make sure that you hang on to them because some of this stuff is escalatory. It may go to the next level or the next year, and you may use some of this stuff. Some of the Mike Holt curriculum. I think the book you're getting in level 3 is Understanding the NEC Volume 2. And I believe some of that might actually go into the 4th year. So keep that in mind. One thing I wanted to point out on the screen here, we have the 2023 National Electrical Code, NFPA 70. Again, I don't know where everybody is in here, but I'll say this. In Kentucky, which is closest to me, they adopted the 2023 National Electrical Code January 1 of 2025. The latest version of the National Electrical Code, or the new edition, the 2026, it will likely be released sometime this fall. I suspect maybe November or something like that. That's usually when it comes out. So in January of next year, the 2026 will be out. If you are an individual that is intending to go to the point where you're going to take your journey level exam and go towards licensure, I would encourage you to take that licensing exam sometime soon. Maybe in the fall here, or at least, go through the teaching of this class and maybe in the spring, because, I have no idea where you are or what state you're in or what that state's going to do as far as adoption. But when we're on an adoption point, that means you're going to get a new code book. Not only that, the National Electrical Code has been on a process from the 2020 up to this point that they are making some big changes in the code book. The 2026, I'm told, was supposed to have reflective of that, maybe some other big changes. Their goal was by 2029, they are rearranging the code book. Now, why would they do that? Their goal has always been to make it more user friendly. It doesn't feel that way sometimes, but they have always been trying to make it more user friendly, make it more accurate, and that sort of thing. But they're literally rearranging things. So, like table 310.16, our beloved ampacity table that we use for all kinds of stuff, is going to be somewhere else in the code book. There are a variety of things that are just going to be all over the place. So after you've been looking at this book for the last 3 years or longer, and then all of a sudden you get ready to take your exam, you can be looking at a book that has been rearranged. I would really try to actually get in there and get it taken before that happens. Now, you got to worry about it next week. We're a long ways from that. The 26th hasn't even come out yet. So I don't think that anybody's going to be moving that quick to adopt. I would also not be surprised that some states and municipalities push back a little bit because of this reorganizing, and they slow the process. I would not want you to count on that. I think that it would be ideal for you to do it now. Additionally, you guys being third-year students, and I handle all 4 years of the e-learning. If we have a lot of people that are ramping up, getting towards that, and they want to actually take their exam, we can do some of these Teams meetings, and we'll talk directly about exam prep. That's something else that I do. I just finished a class this summer, and I was teaching for the Ford Motor Company. I taught at the Louisville Assembly Plant here in Louisville. Taught their industrial maintenance staff, how to pass their exam. I got a text today from one of the guys, and I've already received several of them that they already went through it, took the exam, and did very well, and was just kind of saying, "Hey, thanks," that sort of thing. We can talk about that. At this level, at third year, I would say that's where you want to be. You guys are probably all over the place, and depending on what state you're in, depends on what the licensing requirements even are. If you're in Indiana, it's martial law. They don't have any licensing requirements for field personnel, only if you're a contractor or you're a business owner. But I would not let that hold me up from actually going to the nth degree and passing that exam, because I don't believe, if you're in Indiana, I don't believe it's going to be that way forever. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on the whole licensing thing and being able to pass your journey level exam. We don't believe in Kentucky with the ABC that you need to wait until the end of your 4th year, and then at that point you go take your exam. We want you to take it now, because if you take it now and let's say you didn't pass it, then, as I said, we can interact, do some remediation. Let's get together in a Teams meeting and we can do some teaching on, going back through some of that information and trying to get you sharpened up to where you can pass it. Okay. I am your contact point for the course, assignments, and in general instruction. I can be reached at mike@abcindianakentucky.org or message me through the capacitor. We have, I believe at this point, we have 522 students across the state of Kentucky in an apprenticeship. And no, I'm not giving out my cell phone number. I'm not that crazy. I look forward to working with you to have a successful and gainful educational experience, and truly mean that. And seeing as you guys are third-year students, I will say this. We have been building this e-learning program over the last, I would say, at least 3 years. We've had several contractors who have really, it worked out well because, my guess would be some of you guys are either in a travel base, with the company you work for, or you just don't, there's not a training facility close enough for you to actually attend the class. So you ended up in this. But I'm the one that basically spearheads the e-learning program, and I'm all about seeing how we can improve it. And I don't feel like that by any means we've arrived, but I feel like as far as the material that we have and the platform that we're using, I don't know of a better way to do it. So, the idea is to create more interaction this year. That's really what I am seeing mandating on myself to do in order to help you guys get the message that you need to get out of this program. So, but I am your resource. So if you have questions and things like that, make sure that you don't hesitate to contact me. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Yes, Jose.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice to meet you. So, like I had mentioned, I couldn't have heard you in the beginning of the class, like the first 5 minutes, I think is when you were going over the whole assignments, as in, is there a due date for them?
Yes.
And
Yeah, on the this sheet, which will be in your book pack when you get it in the mail or however you're receiving it, it gives the specific dates on it as to when assignments are due and that sort of thing. I'm also recording this this meeting, and if you want to shoot me an email, I'll send you the link once I get it loaded up. I'll send you the link that here's the whole video, and you can watch it again or at least catch the front part of it that you missed. But yeah, all of the due dates are on this sheet along with the schedule for the Teams meetings.
yes, sir. So, okay, I got you. So then, I think I had joined in the second you were finishing up on if you wanted to get ahead, you could, but you said you were preferring something.
Basically, what we're doing is I'll open up all of the assignments for semester 1, which runs from the 25th of August to December 11th. So you can work through the first semester up to that point. I mean, let's just say, I hope this isn't the case, but let's say you finish up all the assignments like the 1st of December. I'm not opening up the second semester until January 1. And the reason I'm not doing that is because I don't want to have individuals run through the material that quickly. That's not appropriate learning. That's also a federal law says that we are to have a minimum amount of contact hours or classroom hours. And if I were to open up the whole thing and you do that, then that's not appropriate. That's really against the rules. So that's why I think everybody's thinking I'm going to be mean about it and not open up the whole thing. I know some of you just want to get it done. We can't do that. So it'll be semester 1. You've got between August 25th and December 11th to finish it up. I'll open them up in January, January 1st, New Year's Day. I'll open up those assignments, and you'll have till April 16th to finish those up.
Got you. All right, cool. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Anybody else? All right. Well, anybody thinks of any other questions once you get off there, of course, you can email me or message me through the capacitor or just straight up email me. That'd be perfectly fine. Like I said, our next meeting is going to be the 17th of September. And we will, when we do meet, that one will be, of course, if there's any questions that have developed, then we're going to take care of that. But we will also have teaching time. When the meetings from now on, there will be teaching time. Now, I'm not going to lecture on for 3 hours or anything like that. They will typically, if we're having a meeting at 5:30, I expect we'll be out of it by 6:30. We won't run them long. I'm not going to cut anybody off and hang up on you or anything, but I'll be respectful to your time and not take it up. 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. I know some of you might be in different time zones, so that's the time that we're working with. At this point in time, I wasn't planning on taping any of those, but if we have a lot of people that can't get to them, then we may look at that. Looks like there's 12 people in this Teams meeting right now. There's 39 people in this class, so I don't know where everybody else is. But if you know any of them that didn't make it to the meeting for whatever reason, please tell them that we are going to be posting this on the YouTube channel, this particular meeting. So if they need to catch it and come back and see it, we'll make it available, and they can email me and I'll send them the link. This is what I'll do. Okay. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, I'm going to let you go. It's my birthday today, so I'm going to go have dinner somewhere nice, I think. And look forward to working with you and to be a help. Anything else, Jose? Look like you were going to ask a question. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to tell you happy birthday, man, because you mentioned it.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a great week. Assignments will open up on the 25th, and we'll see you here in a couple weeks for our next meeting. Thank you very much.